Lib Dem spokesperson Paul Kohler.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. Can I thank the government for holding this debate? And can I assure the Shadow Minister, us Lib Dems are wonderfully bilingual and can travel in both kilometres and miles.
In the same direction.
As a Liberal Democrat, this is of course an issue close to my heart. Pothole photos are a staple of Lib Dem literature across the country, and whilst other parties may dismiss our focus on pothole politics, we understand that for millions, the state of our roads is no laughing matter. So I welcome the debate today that the government has called. It's vital that we bring renewed focus to an issue that was desperately neglected by the Conservatives for years. This isn't just a matter for drivers. Whether you commute by car, rely on public transport or cycle, your journey begins on local roads. Their condition directly impacts the daily lives of countless individuals. And the truth is, we are facing a crisis. Despite the previous government's rhetoric about standing up for motorists, their actions have fallen woefully short. The Road Condition Index reveals that almost 25,000 miles, 1 in 10 of England and Wales' road network, requires urgent maintenance within the next year. Whilst less than half our roads are even reported to be in good structural condition. These are not abstract figures. They represent tangible burdens on everyday lives. Data from the RAC shows that, for anything more than a tyre puncture, drivers can expect to pay almost £500 for a pothole-related car repair. The number of pothole-related breakdowns attended by RAC patrols rose by nearly a fifth in the last 3 months of 2024 compared to the previous quarter. Whilst the debate around roads often centres on potholes as the most visible symptom of neglect, the real issue is the underlying condition of our road network. Instead of talking about fixing potholes here and there, we must shift our focus to prevention, not merely reactive repairs. While the government's recent injection of funds is a welcome acknowledgement of the problem, it fails to address the fact that our current road maintenance funding mechanism is simply not fit for purpose. The backlog of repairs is simply too long to be fixed by short-term injections of cash. If this government is serious about tackling this crisis, they must urgently reform this system, give councils the support they need to get on top of the crisis. Local councils are responsible for managing 98% of our national road network and bear the brunt of this challenge. However, they are underfunded and face huge financial pressures. Analysis from the Local Government Association has confirmed that due to continuing inflation and wage pressures, English councils face a £6.2 billion shortfall in funding across the next 2 years. Given the challenges that these councils are facing, from ballooning social care costs and the SEND crisis, highway maintenance, as we've heard from the member of Burnley, is often seen as something that can be postponed until finances improve. Roads require resurfacing roughly every 15 years. However, years of chronic underfunding have forced councils to defer this crucial maintenance, leading to the current pothole plague. This has led to a situation where the average frequency of resurfacing for all classes of roads is now an appalling 93 years. When I recently spoke to a council highway lead, he aptly put it. Roads are like trousers, he said. You can fix a hole here and there with a patch, but it reaches a point where this simply just won't work. Roads in this country are at such a point where we just don't need new trousers, we need a whole new wardrobe. Although local councils are responsible for most of their roads, much of the funding for road maintenance comes from central government. However, the Department of Transport itself has acknowledged the current funding model is inefficient and doesn't deliver good value for money. The annual funding cycle forces councils to reactive, short-term fixes, hindering long-term planning. A longer-term funding settlement would allow councils to plan ahead, move away from this reactive model. Furthermore, the current funding formula, based solely on each local authority's total road mileage, is woefully inadequate. It fails to account for the diverse needs and road usage in different regions, which demands a more nuanced approach. For example, Department for Transport data indicates that Merton, in which most of my constituency lies, has both the second worst uncategorised and B and C roads in the country. Merton, however, received less funding than other areas with more but better roads. Now, in a recent meeting with the Secretary of State, it was suggested by officials that Merton's poor standing may be due to a data error in the figures submitted by the Council. Regardless of the cause, this paints a troubling picture. Either Merton are failing to maintain our roads, or they are failing to actively report their condition, neither of which is acceptable. So can I request the Minister to write to me to clarify the situation? The current formula also neglects active travel infrastructure. While the government has increased active travel funding, there is no provision for the maintenance of these new cycle lanes. Similarly, I regularly hear on the doorstep in Wimbledon complaints about the quality of pavements, which is a particular issue for those with mobility issues. If we are serious about promoting cycling and walking, we must ensure cycle paths and pavements are properly maintained. But without dedicated funding, they will deteriorate, discouraging both their use and the willingness of councils to provide much more such infrastructure.
Will he give way?
Of course, I will.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. Does he agree with me and the Eastbourne Seniors Forum that the state of the pavement outside Halifax, which is like the moon, causing lots of trips and falls, is a disgrace and something that East Sussex County Council need to get on top of straight away to give people confidence in using roads and pavements again?
How could I disagree with the Eastbourne Seniors Forum? Indeed, Eastbourne and Wimbledon and many other constituencies have this same problem with pavements. They're in a shocking, shocking condition. No, where did I get to? The government claims... Despite lofty talk about fixing the issues, the government has cut the highways maintenance budget by 5% for the forthcoming year. The government claims this is a temporary measure and is a one-year funding settlement to cover national highways until their next 5-year funding period commences in 2026. So can the Minister please confirm today the government will make up for this shortfall in the funding settlement next year? Our motorways are key to keeping our country and economy moving. We cannot afford to cut costs on such a critical aspect of our infrastructure. To conclude, the Conservatives have led us down the fast lane to decay. There is no doubt our roads are crumbling and motorists, cyclists and bus passengers are paying the price. It is now up to the new government to face up to the challenge. With more short-term injections of cash and a cut to the National Highways budget, their current approach is akin to pulling to a service station for a brief respite. It may delay the journey for a bit, but we remain en route to continuing deterioration. If Labour are serious about fixing our roads, they must sort out the backlog in work needed to allow them to be proactively, not just reactively managed. That requires government to relieve the pressure on local councils by sorting out our social care and the SEND crisis, as well as implementing a long-term, needs-based funding model for road maintenance. Without meaningful action to support local councils properly, we will continue on our journey of managed decline. Thank you.